Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at today. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Cheers to you, my podcast, YouTube, listening, watching friends. I seem like I'm in a really happy, good mood today, but I'm just kind of winding up for a rant. If you don't know me, my name is Colleen. Welcome to the Food Explorer podcast. And I have a few things that I want to discuss today. I have coffee. I love this mug so much. I'm just going to say I got this snowman mug from Emma Cranston Pottery. When did I get this? I bought it last year and then I had a friend pick it up for me, and it's become my go-to mug for everything. It's a big giant mug to put a giant coffee in. Not that I'm a coffeeholic by any means. I like a coffee. I like a good coffee. But my life doesn't end if I don't have a coffee. And there are those of you out there that, yeah, life isn't worth it if I don't get my morning cup. I can take it or leave it. I'm here for the fancy lattes. You guys know this. I'm here for the fancy lattes. So, what do I want to talk about today? I wanted to actually do a bit of a look back at an episode that we did a little while ago. Talk about that in light of something that's just recently happened here in Canada in regards to the CEBA loans. So the CEBA loans were loans that businesses could take out during COVID to help them, weather the storm. And so a lot of stuff has happened just recently. So I want to we're going to take a step back and then we're going to come forward to the present. I'm going to take a sip because this is going to be something. That's delicious. I'm actually going out for coffee. Okay, I know I just said that I'm not a coffeeholic. I know I just said that, but I'm actually going out for coffee with a friend today at one of our favorite coffee shops here in Edmonton, Anvil Coffee House. Shout out to Anvil. I love those people. And so I really don't need to be having one right now, but I wanted to hold my mug while I recorded this and had a chat with you. Also just to take me down a notch because I'm feeling ranty today. So, where did this all start? Way back, 2020, we had this thing called COVID. And of course, this is extremely traumatic. Businesses were told, shut your doors, nobody's coming in, that's it. Everybody stay home. And of course, if you're, a restaurant, a gym, a hairdresser, any kind of retail store, that's not going to work. So we've heard the word 500 million times. Pivot, 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 pivot. Everybody pivoted. Great. But the government said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We realize that some of you are not going to make it because of the closures and the shutdowns and the lockdowns, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to offer two businesses this business loan. It's called CEBA. And the CEBA loans originally were for $40,000. So what would happen is you would get the loan for $40,000. And if you stayed in good standing and you made your payments when you're supposed to make your payments, they would forgive $10,000. Okay, so that was the original thing that came out. And I just want to read this for you because I pulled this up today. So the number of businesses in Canada that ended up getting these loans was 898,271. And this was for not just that 40,000 original. So what ended up happening was, as things were kind of moving forward, the government was like, oh, shoot, some people actually need more than just the $40,000. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do $60,000, and the payback will be 40, but we'll forgive 20. So for the smart business owner, and please don't hear that as a criticism for businesses that went under. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But for the, business owner that went, I know how I'm going to use this money. Most businesses that got that first 40,000, not most, many businesses that got that first 40,000 said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take that 10 because it's going to be forgiven. We're going to spend that on what we need, payroll, ingredients, other expenses, utilities, rent, etc. We're going to put that 30 aside, put it into some kind of savings account. We're going to do our best to not touch it. So then when the loan's repayment comes back up, we're good. We can repay. Other businesses were like, oh my gosh, I got to use the whole thing because I am now underwater. Okay? And some businesses went, they'll never come after me for it. And I'm saying that in all truest sense, that there were some businesses that thought they'll forgive it. They'll forgive the whole thing. We'll just spend it all. So the original amount of people that got the $40,000 and the $60,000 combined ended up being 898,271 businesses. In the first wave of businesses that actually got the loan, it was only about $30,000 or 30,000 businesses that then got approved for the second amount. Okay? Sorry, there was only about 30,000 businesses that didn't apply for the second amount. So I'm saying that wrong. There was the original that got the $40,000, and then there were some that were like, we need more, and they actually opted to get the 60. Total funds spent to fund businesses was $49.2 billion with a B, billion dollars. This is a lot of money. So these were government funded loans to help businesses out to get through the pandemic. Okay. So what happened then? Well, businesses said, okay, I can't pay that loan back. So what ended up happening was there was an extension for repayment. So the CEBA program said, okay, we got a lot of people that can't pay. Let's do an extension. But the extension deadline was January 18th. So that was 6 days ago. And as of recording this, about a third of the businesses said, we can't pay you nothing. We can't pay anything. About a third of the businesses said, we can pay, but we have to secure financing from another financial institution. So places like Scotiabank said, come to us. We will take your CEBA on and we will put you into a loan repayment program with us so that, you don't have to pay the whole thing back. Because here's the thing. If you defaulted on this loan, so say you got the 40,000 or you got the 60,000, instead of that 10,000 being forgiven or that 20,000 being forgiven, no, y'all, you pay the whole thing back. So if you defaulted, you're on the hook for the 40 or the 60. If you said, okay, well, I'm gonna refinance through another company, here's what I'm doing, and you showed I am working on this, I want to get this money back to you, then the program said, okay, you actually have till March of 2024. So it's actually, I think it's March 28th of 2024 that you're allowed to go to. So let's just look on here. March 28th. You have till then. So if you said, Scotiabank's going to take on my loan, I'm going to get you the money back. Could you just give me a second? I got to get all my ducks in a row to get this loan processed. They said, yeah, we'll do that. And then a third of the businesses were like, here's your money back. Thank you. You helped me out. Okay. So why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because there's quite a few businesses that we've talked about. We talked about one. We're going to talk about that in a second. There's quite a few businesses right now that are saying, we can't pay this loan. We're shutting down. We're gone. Bye-bye. We're not a part of your community anymore. And I'm seeing two kind of streams of consciousness happening. And one is quite challenging for me. I own a small business. My business ran at a loss last year. Does that feel good? No, that feels terrible. So I'm hustling hard this year, so my business is not running at a loss this year. But why did my business run at a loss last year? I'm a dummy. Hey, dummy. I saw my ingredients costs going up, and in that I want to be a good community member. I want to be a good community supporter. I want people to be able to buy from me. I know times are tough. I didn't raise my prices. So that resulted in me having quite a significant loss in my business. Now, did I go to my wholesalers that I buy stuff from and be like, dude, I got no money. Can you just front me? No, I still paid my bills. I incurred a small debt on my credit card, which in January I paid off once all of our Christmas money came in from all of our events and markets and everything like that. But I still paid my bills. Here's where I'm troubled. I'm seeing a lot of posts. So when a business says, that's it, I'm so sorry, I can't do it. The CEBA loan repayment came up. Surprise! It's not a surprise at all. They already did an extension. You knew this was coming. And this is not to say that these businesses are not viable. Many times these businesses, oh my gosh, do I need more coffee? Many times they're very viable. And it's not, oh, they just mismanaged everything. It's not that. In some cases, it is the money went to keep the lights on. High costs of everything now. And I know I feel like a broken record, but I really want people to understand how much ingredient costs have gone up. I giggled because Jason said yesterday he buys really crappy coffee at a convenience store, and his coffee went up $1. I'm like, that's like 100% increase. His coffee was $1.25 to start, but now it's $2.25. And it's just like boom. Not that I can say anything because my fancy lattes obviously cost way more than that, but I just don't care. But the point is that I'm seeing this trend of people, our little armchair, backseat business owners being like, the government should forgive all of this debt. Shall I go back to the page? $49.2 billion. Oh, the government should just forgive everybody the debt and let them continue on. When you are an entrepreneur and you run a business, it is up to you to run that business. And if you took the loan to get through, I understand. I get it. I totally get it. However, it still needs to be repaid. So I'm seeing a lot of people. So recently, Downtown Farmers Market in Edmonton has announced they're bankrupt. They're going to declare bankruptcy. And there's this outpouring. Oh my gosh, I didn't know. Shame on the city for not subsidizing and funding them. Well, okay, let's go with that line of logic. So I'm going to pull up the list of 30 businesses that just closed down in Edmonton. Should I take that list to the city of Edmonton and say, you should subsidize all these businesses as well that just closed down? Because it's your responsibility to make sure that people stay in business. Now, could the city of Edmonton do things better? Absolutely. Do they do dumb things all the time? Yes. If you're listening, city of Edmonton, stop with the parking downtown. Oh my goodness, that's a whole other rant. But I find it very interesting. And so then my question is, are the people that are commenting, why can't the government just say, you're free, off you go, you don't have to pay your loan? Or why are the people that are saying, oh, the city should subsidize, the city should this and that? Are these the same people that own their own business? Are these people that work for somebody else and are like oblivious to how much it costs to run business? Are they people that are taking the toilet paper home because they don't feel like going grocery shopping and they're like, there's toilet paper here. It costs nothing, right? Like, it's confusing to me. And as somebody that owns a business and, is expanding to many other streams of income, I'm diversifying my income right now. I find this really troublesome. It is not the responsibility of somebody else to keep you in business. So what do? Well, we go back. Chartier. We talked about Chartier before. Beautiful little restaurant in Beaumont. again, stuck in the same situation. However, at least they were back last year going, we're not going to be able to repay when this deadline comes up. This was last year. We've got people that are just like last week going, oh, we can't repay this. You're really at the 11th hour. Like at least Chartier was months and months ago going, we got to do something. Now, what happened with Chartier? We talked about this. Luckily for them, angel investor came in and saved them. And there was much rejoicing. That's fantastic. And not every business is going to have somebody swoop in and say, no, I cannot have your business gone from my local, food establishments that I, enjoy. And that's great. I am so happy for Chartier. Plus, they did a little expansion. I'll have a little sip of coffee here. And that is delicious. That is delicious. But Chartier also has expanded. So now there's a nice little buffer there. They've got their restaurant business and they already had a thriving in-house bakery that they did at the restaurant. So now they've made that a bit more robust with the bakery and having it as almost a separate entity, which is great. More streams of income for you. Wonderful. Why am I talking about this today? I guess I'm just feeling a bit confused. And this is the news stories right now. And actually for Alberta, that's the province that I'm in. So they have regional statistics on the CEBA. And I didn't even say what CEBA stands for. Canadian Emergency Business Account. That's what CEBA stands for, CEBA. For Alberta actually ended up getting 14% of that $49.2 billion. Ontario, of course, getting the most, almost 41%. Quebec being the second biggest. But Alberta was actually number 3 on that list for how many people applied and got CEBA loans. And just to put it in perspective, so when the pandemic started and they kind of put out this, get this CEBA loan. I actually did, as a small business owner, I actually did apply for it. And it was very interesting because I had a really lovely woman call me from the CEBA loan office. And she said, well, first of all, you don't qualify, which I figured would be the case because unlike many other businesses, I have me and I have an Oompa Loompa. And that's it. There's just the two of us. Our expenses were high enough that we did qualify for the amount of money that we were spending, but the time frame. So what ended up happening was when you applied for the CEBA loans originally, they had a time frame that you had to show invoices or payroll for that time frame, and it was very specific. It was like a 6-week time frame. And if you could show in that time a certain amount that you needed to spend, I think it was $20,000, then you could qualify for the loan. I had a very lovely lady call me from the CEBA offices, and she said, you don't qualify. Here's why. And she said, honestly, I looked over everything in your business. She's like, even if you did qualify, I would have called and told you, don't take this loan. I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, for a small business like you, she's like, you're actually better. And she said this. She's like, you're better to put stuff on a credit card that you could pay off or get a small line of credit from your bank. She's like, because at the end of this, when the repayment needs to happen, she's like, with how small your business is, it would be a big struggle for you to pay that $30,000 back. And I was very thankful to her. We actually had a very nice conversation. Imagine that, a really good conversation with somebody from the government. But I appreciated that because it put in perspective that on the scale of things, my business is very tiny. I don't need this loan. And I'm glad I did not get the loan, for sure. I probably would have used the loan to buy a couple pieces of equipment and put the rest aside and waited till the repayment came. But because I don't have a ton of overhead other than equipment, ingredients, and wages. So with that said, I wanted to just kind of have like a short, sweet little chat with you today about this because it started to bother me when I kept seeing comments from people just being like, oh, just save them, save them. I get it. I don't want businesses to close. My goodness, I know how hard this is. Running a business is tough. My friend and I we were out for coffee the other day. My goodness, you guys are going to just think I just go over coffee all the time. I don't, but also I do enjoy it. But we were chatting about, being a small business owner. And it was really funny because she said, sometimes I just want to go work for somebody else and not have to think about anything. And I said, I get it. Like sometimes you're like, I just want to go clock in somewhere instead of working all the hours. I just want to go and just be beholden to somebody else. Are you going to pay for health benefits for me and match my RSP contributions? Okay, can I come work for you? Like, it's hard. And, I do my monthly amount to my retirement savings for myself. My business doesn't match it. It's just me throwing money into an account and hoping it grows so I can retire and drink fancy coffees. But it's a challenge. Running your own business is absolutely a challenge. And anybody that runs their own business, kudos to you because it is a labor of love and it is hard. And when those businesses close down, it is very challenging. So that's what I wanted to say about that. That was kind of long, but I thought I would just kind of come in with that this morning. And it wasn't as ranty as I thought it was going to be. My other update, the radishes that I did turned out amazing. So the ones that I actually did the quick pickle on, so I did the 2 quick pickles. They turned out delicious. I have been using the one that I quick pickled in the A Premium balsamic vinegar. I've been using that on sandwiches, so just putting it on sandwiches like a crunchy pickled addition. And the ones that I did in the fig and Neapolitan herb balsamic vinegar, I've actually been cutting up into little small pieces and putting it in with avocado and making avocado toast. No, I'm not a millennial. No, I'm not a Gen Z, whatever you call them. I'm not any of those things, but I do enjoy an avocado toast. I understand there's a lot of problems with avocados, and sometimes I just eat them and I just ignore the problems and I put my head in the sand. That's another episode. The ones that I did in the salt in the brine are still going, but I'm going to check on them today. I checked on them the other day. They were tasty. I'm going to check on them today and see how they are. And I'm going to post a couple more videos on our Instagram, just showing how the radishes turned out. With that, thank you so much as always for being here. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It's podcast day. It's pretty okay out today. It's not minus 40 anymore, so I am super happy about that. And remember to tell your friends. Oh my gosh. You watched this video, you got to the end. You want to subscribe if you haven't. You want to tell your friends, put some comments in. If I've angered you, let me know. It's okay. Not really. I don't like when people are angry at me. I am a bit of a people pleaser. So when people are angry at me, it upsets me. But if you're like, I hated this episode because I took out a CEBA loan and I can't repay it and you suck, you can tell me that. But maybe just don't. Okay. Have a great day, everybody. I'm just striking this on. I don't even know why. I will see you next week. And have a great weekend. Do all the things. Thanks, everyone.